Alright, today we're going to be running on our take on the Whirlwind Barbarian, and just wanted to go over a little bit of the gear real quick. Obviously we've got our Air of Perdition set up. Now, mind you, I don't have anything quite 100% optimized just yet, but this is going to be the current build we're running here. We've got our Blood Boiling on our chest piece, Gore's Devastating Grips on our hands. We've got the Heavenly Strength leggings, Anger Management for our boots, although I have been hearing something about Anger Management maybe still being bugged. Still got to look into that a little bit more. For our first weapon, we're running Limitless Rage. Then we're running Crushing on our second weapon. Ramalandi's Magnum Opus is our unique sword that we've got here, and this just helps increase a lot more damage. We've got Channeling on our Great Sword. I've got just a 1 GA, unfortunately, Ring of Starless Skies. So far so good though. I mean, it's definitely got room for improvement. Obviously, if you look at all my gems and whatnot, I don't have anything nearly optimized in the gem department. On our ring, we're running Tidal. That's what's giving us the extra overpower. And on our amulet, we've got our Melted Heart of Selig. I got really lucky on this one, and it has been pretty awesome so far. As a secondary on here, I can't remember the name of which aspect it's coming from, but it's the one that basically pulls everybody right onto me as I'm spinning around, destroying them. As far as our talisman here, I am running a Seal of the Diamond Mind in the center. Even though I'm not running a 2 set on here, I do just have the single 5 set because I am still running Endurant Faith. It just gives us a lot more tankiness on this build. But for our other charms, we are running the Crucible set, which is just absolutely fantastic. This gives us a lot of our damage. We're basically always berserking, so the timer for this is just constantly going to be all the way maxed out once we get going after about a minute. Anyway, as far as our Paragon board, we do have kind of the full Paragon board filled out with our starter board, and we're running our Might Glyph here. In our second board, this one's going to be running our Challenger Glyph, and this is on the Carnage board. Board number 3, we've got our Twister Glyph, because obviously we're using the Dust Devils as we're spinning around, and that goes really nicely on the Blood Rage board. Fourth board, we're rocking the Warbringer board, just because we are spending a lot of Fury, and this keeps us fortified, makes us a little tankier. And on that, we're running Wrath. And on our last board, we've got Dominate on here, and that is going to be on the Force of Nature board. Mainly just because our Whirlwind obviously creates Dust Devils, and dealing that extra 45% multiplicative damage is just nice. As far as rotation goes, I don't really have much of a problem on this one as far as resource management or anything else like that. So for the most part, I'm finding if I just pop my one shout and just keep spinning, it pretty much does everything I need it to do. If I find I'm in a pinch or something like that, I can pop some of the other stuff, but I really don't need it unless it's absolutely necessary. Usually I'm speed running on the pit. I can speed run this with this build up to about 120. Beyond that, it starts to get a little slow still, obviously because I don't have my gems in a great position yet. And I still have a little bit of room in my gear to continue. But let's do a pit 120 here and just kind of show some gameplay on this particular build as it stands. Again, just pop in that one. We'll start to kind of get in here and start killing these guys. Once this builds up to that minute mark, I'll be doing quite a bit more damage. As of right now, he's definitely feeling a little less than strong. We're not going to wait too long on these guys. We are just going to keep moving. Because I find in the pit, if I don't get stuck on everything, this is where we just find all the little dudes. They add up pretty quick. So we just kill all the little mobs and not really worry so much about the big ones. We're just going to keep spinning. Spinning and winning. That's what this build is all about. So we still have some elites here, but we'll take them out real quick. Find some more of these guys. Luckily the goblin event is over, so I'm not really concerned with chasing after that goblin that escaped. As you can see with my resources here, this build basically never runs out of resources, which is great because that's where I'm also having all of my tankiness and health coming from because of my melted heart of Selig. As far as my mercenary, I am running right here, just because he does give you a little bit more of an armor boost, as well as, I believe he gives you a little bit more damage on top as well. So let's just take out this goblin, because we might as well. I do personally prefer Subo, just because, especially for the pit, I like being able to kind of just see where all the bigger mobs are. But for the survivability, right here is really nice. If I can tank all these big hits, all these one-shot explosions, I can just stand right in the middle of it and I don't even have to worry about it. And we've got another goblin in this particular run. Where were all these guys in the middle of the March of the Goblins? If you've seen any of my other videos, I really do like playing the Barbarian. This is probably one of my favorite classes to play. Mainly just for the fact that, especially on this Whirlwind, the amount of screen cancer is just so much better on this character. I can actually see the ground, I can see things coming. I don't have to worry so much about, oh, am I going to get stuck in some ridiculous mechanic? Whereas on some other classes I've been playing, like the Warlock or Sorcerer, or even my Barbarian build, they're just so hard to see what's coming underground. We're going to take this guy down. Now, single target damage on this guy is pretty good. It could be better. As I get my stacks up, he'll start to go down faster and faster. One thing I have not yet found on this character yet this season is the dagger that would make boss fights a little bit easier. For whatever reason, just not dropping for me. I'm not even going to worry about upgrading any of that just because I already have everything at max. So we're just going to run back to town. But that's kind of a basic overview of what we're working with on this Whirlwind Barbarian. I did start this build following a guide by Cliptus. I really like his work with the Barbarians, so it was a great starting point. If you look at my Paragon board, however, you'd see it is generally pretty different. I think I've got a lot of the same glyphs and the same boards. It's just everything's kind of in a bit of a different order than what he's got going on. Because I've tweaked it a little bit just to make it, you know, a little more my own. But that's about it. That's what I've got on this Whirlwind Barbarian. Anyway, I hope anybody watching this just enjoys that Barbarian spin to win, I've definitely had some fun with it. It's been my main of this season so far, and I've been pretty happy with it so far. So, hope y'all are having a good one. We'll catch you next time.